That's when I started, because I was very sick. I was a very sick young woman, and I had so many different diseases. That's why I'm so convinced that if I could be well, that anyone could be well. That just embrace
nature. Now, are you're from New York?
Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. Where in the South do your people come up from?
Louisiana and
Alabama.
In
Alabama. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a different migration trail in the New Yorkers. More than the Carolinians are there. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
And your people?
Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, we come up from Georgia. And I was just, I don't know whether you guys were listening in. You have a section here talk about a special message to breastfeeding, breastfeeding mothers.
Yeah.
You should strive to breastfeed for 1 to 3 years, and that's important.
So how are you going to do that? Right? How would you even do that and still function?
Yes.
And most can't, but you know, they have the breast pump, so you can still breastfeed your child.
Okay.
And, you know, then it's also what you're eating, because the child's going to eventually be eating food.
Sure.
The breastfeeding helps to protect their immune system
for
1 year from infections and colds and that kind of thing. And so it's good to boost their immune system up and protect them early on, because how you begin is where you're going to be.
Sure.
That's your foundation.
And it should be taught in terms of more of a community thing between husband and wife, that this is what's going to be done, because I remember being a young lad and watching the first breastfeed. You know, I was amazed. It was my uncle's supposedly daughter was supposed to be on the breast. I was a little young boy, and my uncle and his wife stayed with us. But come to find out, it was him on the breast. He would breastfeed and send me to get Similac for the baby.
That is something else. Oh my goodness. He didn't get a lot of nurturing at home, did he? He needs to heal thyself.
Yeah, heal thyself. Yeah. He used to send me to get Similac with iron, but every night I would ease in there, crawl in there, he was on the breast and everything. So how do today, I mean, you know, and this is not a joke, this is true. Is it harmful in any way?
To breastfeed? Well, if the woman is toxic. If she's eating junk foods, fried foods, fast foods, microwave foods, late night eating, emotional eating, then the milk is not of high quality and the child will only get sick. So if a mother's going to pass on wellness, she has to pass on through her own lifestyle and her emotions.
Sure. If
she's angry, if she's holding hostility, if there's friction in the home between her and her husband, it's going to also show up in her milk. It's going to be toxic milk.
Well, that probably, in today's world, would almost be an everyday thing.
No, that's why you have to heal yourself every day.
Sure.
Healing is not like you do when you get sick. You also have to do healing to prevent from getting sick.
Yes.
And so many of our families are suffering from high blood pressure and diabetes, and that's passed down to the bloodline.
Yes.
And it's from the diet, but it's also due to the family stress. And so you got to change from your cellular level, and you got to change your lifestyle in order to really break the cycle of disease.
So actually, this level of disease is really self-induced.
It's much as well. Sometimes we're born into it, and if we don't change our habits, then it is self-induced. If you continue the same eating patterns that your grandmother, you said, well, my grandmother lived to be such and such age, so I can do. Well, see, she was exercising, she was out early in the morning. You know, she was growing her own food possibly, and she was maybe walking distances to get from one point to the next, and you're sitting in the car, and all that poison is just crystallizing. And then also, they had food that was more organic. They wasn't a turkey. Now, if you have turkey around the holidays, you're in trouble, because by the time they shoot off the steroids and the hormones to get a turkey in everyone's home, it's a lot of work. So that means a lot of processing, a lot of chemicals. And so it's not even the meat alone, it's all those chemicals that is causing some of the cancers that we're having. Wow. Yeah. So
do you talk, I have a talk about the microwave at all?
Yes. Well, the heat alone, that destroys all the minerals. And the body, what I find is that a lot of people are suffering from obesity. Our people are suffering from obesity. It's just a global thing. And why is that? Because the food is empty. It has no substance in it. But it's cooked out or microwaved out.
But is that a part of the stress that a lot of us go through? You know, I remember back in the 90s going through a great deal of stress and everything. And I'm sure the great Lord upstairs was looking out for me, because I was attracted to a box of apples a week. My fruit bill a week, Queen, was about $45 a week. And I remember eating every
So
apple
you were
and
detoxing and cleansing every day.
and didn't even realize.
You have longevity.
I had no clue.
It's beautiful.
I had no clue. I would tear through
Was
20
that encouraged by your
tangerines.
family?
No, not at
That
all.
was
Not at
just
all.
you on your own.
Just me on my own. On my
Okay,
own.
but that's
I would
unique.
tear through 20 tangerines like it was nothing.
Okay.
You know,
Right,
from this area here in Plainfield, the Newark Airport, I could cut through 7 apples.
Okay, well,
And
you're
just,
different.
you
You're
know.
a different being.
You know?
Because most people that, when they're young, they usually have to go through a crisis to really get into holistic healing.
Well, let me say, in 1980, I was very much obese.
Okay.
And Spirit spoke to me March 25th of 1980 and told me to take a good look at myself. And I took that look, and I've been exercising ever since.
Okay.
And I, got into deep exercising and everything. And as I said before, you came, where you have a part in the book toward evolving into the new lifestyle.
Yes.
Not so much a shock, but the evolution. And I said, that's my learning practice, even on exercise, to just evolve into it and everything. So from 1980, I have been working out with weights and running and things of that nature. But I picked up a storm in the 90s that I just was really going through a great deal of stress.
Okay.
You see.
Okay.
So, and fruit was like, I would go to Costco's and buy those big bags of grapes,
But did you undo the stress of eating that way? Was that your purpose, your mission?
Well, you know what? I really didn't know. I really didn't have the clue of my great appetite for fruit at that time. I've always ate fruit, but not to that quantity, to that amount. But when I look back on it, I say, that was the time that I was going through a lot of
and nature was
stress.
healing you.
Yes.
And nature was undoing that stress.
Yes.
Were you by yourself in this?
I was by myself and, of course, searching for a mate. That could be.
Yes.
Searching for somebody to wait for me to get educated. That could be, a grown man want to be educated, That's a hard thing to do.
Well, maybe we're supposed to be learning from the cradle to the grave.
That's right.
So, it's good to always be self-educated. But what I find is that you need to work with groups. That's the best way to really harmonize your healing.
Sure.
Because most people feel, if you feel you're by yourself and you're the only one on the job doing this, you're the only one in your family doing this lifestyle, then you're going to find yourself getting into it, feeling better, and going right back out. Back and forth, up and down. So what I really encourage people is to form groups. One of the groups that I have formed is, I'm working with a medical doctor right now. That's one of the groups.
Okay.
This is a scientific research project. There are 27 men and women from ages 27 to 85 who are going through a 12-week intensive with me. Wow. Under the doctor's support. Her and her nurses are examining Dr. Sheridan. I call them clients, they're patients, at the very beginning of the process, in the middle, and at the end to see their progression. And some have diabetes, some have high blood pressure, some are obese. They have different ailments. And what they're doing is they're going through a group dynamics. They meet every week on teleconference and in a group. And so we've had food preparation. So so this is how I prepare the food. These are the exercises that I should do for my physical fitness. Then we have the mental fitness to encourage their minds to stay focused and begin to take care of themselves in a real powerful way. We also do partnering. So even though we're meeting once a week, they are supposed to reach out to their partner once a day or every other day. Wow. And this community effort, I'm seeing major healing take place as a result of that.
And weight loss also.
Well, we had 2 out of the 27 released 15 pounds in 2 weeks. Wow. They really followed the program. It's based on my new book, The City of Wellness.
And that's this book here.
Yes. And it's called the Liberation Menu Plan. It's like it's an upgrade of Heal Thyself's work. And you're having 2 meals per one. And you have a liquid meal and then a solid meal. You have a liquid breakfast, which would be your fruit juice, fresh fruit juice, apple juice to detox the body, orange, grapefruit juice to break up mucus for those who are suffering from asthma, cold, sinus, congestion, cranberry juice to build up the blood. So it's specific fruit juices for their concern. digestive problems, bloating and abdominal bloating, maybe papaya juice. They take that with my formula, Green Life Formula, which is a cell rejuvenated, should be complex, vegetarian protein, calcium. So their bodies are being fed in a liquid way so they're not overeating. They're not hungry.
Sure.
And that's what I meant by the microwave. You destroy all the nutrition. You can eat a whole plate full of food, a whole platter full of food, and still not be satisfied. You're looking for more food 5 minutes later because the food is void of nutrition.
Okay.
Most diseases, malnourishment. When you feed the cells, the tissues and the blood, the bones and joints, then the body's not craving for excess.
Sure.
It's emotional eating now. It goes from feeding yourself to total emotional eating. So you're not really healing the body. So that's what everyone's going through. So they have a liquid meal, then they have a solid breakfast, which would be their fruits and their whole grain cereal, maybe some almond milk, soy milk as a transition. And then they have a liquid lunch,